Going on all? It is Tuesday the 11th. So, April's in full swing. We're getting it done. Hope your Easter weekend was awesome. Mine started off really freaking cool. I took off the about 3/4 of the way through of my day on Friday, head out into the hills, had a group of I'd say, probably 16 to 18-year-olds that we were taking 20 to 25 of them. They wanted to go through this canyon, do a bunch of rappelling, and the canyon was full of water when I scouted out. So didn't want to take them there because it was pretty dangerous. So I took them to another place where you just get them on some ropes, get some rappelling in. Now, many of you probably don't know, I spent 10 years of my existence up until 2018 working for the Sheriff's Department's rescue unit. I was initially came aboard getting, learning all the stuff because I'd done a lot of outdoor stuff in the past, climbing and whatnot. And then went from there to create and run their off-road rescue unit, where we take Jeeps deep in there, cut people out of rolled vehicles, that kind of thing, search for missing people out in the hills. And then I took over their technical rescue unit, which is, ropes and high angle stuff. I had conducted a bunch of rescues, got some international attention as the rescuer. Pretty cool stuff, a lot of rappelling out of helicopters, things like that. But then it got to a point where we just weren't as needed. Right, we weren't. They got new equipment, a lot more funding. So as a result of that, it was really just almost like a hiking club at that point. So I just got out of that, retired in 2018. But now I get to use those skills to benefit other people who want to go out and do some adventures. So I had a great time with that. As we're packing up, and I'm very, very big into safety, really, really paying close attention to every single person. And then at the very end of it, loading up trailers, hooking up Jeeps. We hooked up an overland trailer of mine to a Jeep, and miscommunication between me and the other guy we were doing it. That's 100% my fault. I should have stopped, done the communication. Communication is a big thing. As a result of that miscommunication, the tongue of the trailer got dropped and the very tip of it, right? You got where it goes over the ball hitch. The end of that went right onto my toe. I jumped like crazy because it bounced. Left it as is, hurt like hell, thought, just smashed it. So we went ahead and finished up loading, came to my place, unloaded trailers, went and grabbed some tacos, came back, unloaded everything else, make sure everything was handled. Then I took the boot off. Now, others would encourage me to take the boot off. I'm like, no, you take that boot off, you ain't getting the sumbitch back on. So let's just get everything done, then I'll take it off. That sumbitch is full of blood. It's kind of crazy. I pulled that boot off. Now here's the thing. When we're driving out of there, I was like, I don't know that it's really going to be that badly damaged. I wasn't sure. I shared a story when we were having tacos about how one time I was out dealing with some things in my place, and there was an irrigation pipe there. I think I slipped or something. I had to jump, and I caught my toes in that irrigation pipe. Now, dumb, I was wearing flip-flops at the time, just taking care of something quick out in the yard, but I thought I broke my foot. I couldn't even put weight on it. I go to the urgent care. They take x-rays. The doc comes in. Really cool doc, busting each other's balls. Great attitude. It's like, hey, I got good news and bad news. I'm like, oh, give me the good news. He goes, well, your foot's not broken. I was like, what's the bad news? He goes, you're a little bitch. And so I was not going to be a little bitch and take my boot off and cry about this whole thing. I was just going to knock it out and get through that. So fast forward, where I stopped before, pulled the boot off, touched my sock. My hands got blood all over it. Like, look in the boot, full of blood. Pull the sock off, it's just bleeding all over the place. It was like a damn grape, right? If you ever squished a grape, it splits and opens. That's what happened to my damn toe. Like, it sucked. And then the swelling started happening and whatever. So we bandaged up. I spent a couple of days like that. But yesterday, well, I don't know where this is going. I want to make sure it's not broken. I don't want to be walking around this and causing more problems. So we went to the podiatrist. That was me, just a quick x-ray. You're done. You're out. Because it didn't look broken to me. It was swollen and purple. Shattered the tip, man. Just smashed that thing and obliterated it. So yeah, it's broken, but just the tip. So it still sucks though. You had to fucking numb that thing up, get some tools. I got screwdriver, medical screwdriver, dug underneath the nail, yanked that sumbitch off. Turns out it was a compound fracture under the nail bed, bone visible. So crazy. I've never had a compound fracture. I broke 56 bones, now 57 in my life. Never a compound fracture till now, and it's a damn toe. So that was my Easter weekend. That was my yesterday. Last night we had our very first Shooting the Shit with Aaron.chapman. We did just kind of live conversation, had a bunch of people jump on. We're going to keep that going. We're going to modify it a little bit. We're going to let you guys to that and what's happening there. Another cool thing that I want to bring up, I know I'm just storytelling today, but let's look at this. I want you guys to see this. The rankings just came out. Well, I just noticed them. I don't know when they came out, but I just noticed them. In 2022, This is ranking. They're saying this year, 2023, the most loans closed last year, got ranked number 7. The year before, I think I was ranked like number 19 or 20 or 21 or something like that. Ranked number 7 in the hardest year we've had in a long damn time. Now, this is freaking awesome to be ranked number 7 in transactions closed in the entire United States. You know, there's an outfit called Modex that called me a while back. That puts me number 1 in Arizona and number 7 in the United States. Modex called me and said there's 1.4 million people in the United States that do my job. You know, not necessarily a licensed loan originator, but there's a lot of registered loan originators with banks. You know, you go into a Wells Fargo, Chase, or Bank of America, a big national bank, they don't have to get licensed like I do. They have to get registered. I'm licensed in 30 states. If you're licensed, you have to go through a lot more stuff. So I would say look to the licensed guys a little bit more, especially you investors. Well, hell, don't you look to anybody. Look to us. We're here to take care of you, do the best we can. We talk about all the things we do as a team. Now, let me tell you about this particular ranking thing, what makes it significant to me. That would not happen just because of me. I can do all I want to do. This kind of stuff, I'll get all the knowledge in the world, shake my ass out there like I'm late on rent, dragging business in. But if I didn't have a badass team, it wouldn't get done. If I didn't have a kick-ass company that was backing me up with resources and people that were there to ensure they did the best we can to make things happen on the actual funding side of it, creating the products, all the legal and the compliance stuff and all those things, it wouldn't happen, right? If I didn't have great clients like yourself, it wouldn't happen. If I didn't have great referral sources that were really, really, really good at their job, it wouldn't happen. This that I'm showing you, even though my name's on it, that's just a brand. It's just the Aaron Chapman brand. That's just when you think of Aaron Chapman, I don't want you to think of me any longer. I want you to think real estate investment finance. That's the brand. It's kind of like Charles Schwab. That's where we're going with this. Because of you, because of my team, because of my company and the executives, the people that back me up, and all the guy who's putting out this video, everybody. Drew, you're a badass. Everybody who refers me business, everybody that we interact with is part of that. That's why that's happening. That's why it's growing. That's why its brand exists. So I appreciate that. So let's get to why we're all here, and this is for the charts. Let's take a look and see what's going on in these charts. So we've got, what you were showing here before, I've mentioned how I draw on this line, and if you look back, I drew an extra line here. So you got the red one that I drew, but then I went and drew this green line to show what was the indicators back here. I'm looking at all these places where it hit and stopped, hit and stopped, hit and stopped. That means I thought that had some strength to it. Then I saw it was hitting and stopping here, hitting, stopping here. So that's where I believe there was some sort of barrier in the trading world that was keeping them from believing that the value of this security is higher than that, and we were right. So now we've come off of that. We now are on another floor of resistance, or floor of support, sorry. Ceiling of resistance, floor of support. Now we're getting squeezed here. Sitting right there at that support line, we have CPI tomorrow. CPI is not always favorable to us. CPI, what is that? The Consumer Price Index. Now, from what I'm gathering, tomorrow is very significant. That CPI is significant because we're doing the year-over-year numbers. So when you look at March of last year and then March of 2023, it's going to look negative from what they believe. And with that negative movement, because of that year-over-year number is going to look weak compared to what we need it to look like, and it's going to push bonds in a negative position. So we were claiming and we pushing lock. I hope that people did, because I was talking about that last week. My caution to lock was justified, even though every expert I listened to and subscribed to told me to float into the jobs report. I didn't believe it because of that particular line that I had discovered, that resistance that I discovered that I thought traders might be influenced by, and we were right. Now, I'm not sure about tomorrow, guys. I just know what to tell you. I think we're going to be seeing some negative first, and it probably might rebound and get back up into this little channel we're at right now, just above this resistance. That's my prayer. That's my hope. We got some moving averages there to support us. But right now, it's a pretty iffy situation. Just wanted to bring you aware of it. But I also want to thank you guys for making sure that we got to that number 7 spot. It wouldn't have happened without you. We're going to keep doing what we can to be better at what we do. I've got a lot of you tell us, hey, we're great. We love working with you, but I want you to do one thing for me, please. If there's ever a time you can't call me and say that, just call me and tell me that, hey, you're missing here, you're missing there, there's a problem here. If I don't know, I can't fix it. Don't just say, well, those guys screwed up, I'm going to go to somebody else. Don't do that to me, please. Let me know. We'll get it fixed and we'll report back. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you on Friday.